What's up, everybody? I'm back with like a mix of like story and review. So the very first roller coaster I ever rode was a coaster called Test Track at Disney's Epcot back 11 years ago now, a little bit over 11 years ago. It's February 2011. I was 7 years old at the time, but I do remember riding it. And it's not the coaster that got me into coasters, but it was the very first roller coaster that I rode. A lot of people have told me I haven't done an update look on the ride. I haven't been to Disney since then. I don't know if the ride still even exists or if it's been changed. A lot of people say it has been changed. It's not really a roller coaster anymore. But it definitely was a roller coaster when I rode it. And so therefore I can give a review. However, again, this was 11 years ago. Bear in mind that when you take a look, because, hey, I'm going to try and retell it the best I possibly can. But just bear with me, guys. So, let's do this. So, Test Track, it was themed, the ride was themed to, you're in a car, you're like in a testing facility for a car, like a futuristic car, and you have to ride the vehicle and run a bunch of tests and see if it will work good, if it's good to send out into the public. Which is kind of ironic because the public can go ride it, or at least they could, so it's kind of weird, like you already opened it to the public, but, whatever. But I mean, it was Disney, so it had themed, the cars were themed. The ride vehicles were themed to cars. They had actual tires as their thing, and they were built like a car, kind of, not really. They have, even inside the car, they had like speedometers there that read the actual speed of the ride vehicle. They had windshields, which I guess were kind of unnecessary, but you get the point. And then the inside on the queue line, it was like a futuristic like dealership sort of thing. They had diagrams and pictures and videos playing and stuff like that. It looked like a car dealership kind of thing. And then also they had the track itself even was like a road. It was like a track piece sort of thing. It was like a road course, and the ride operators, they were dressed like testers, like road testers, car testers, not like regular amusement park employees or theme park employees or whatever. So yeah, you get that, and then I remember the ride. I don't know how good of a theme. I think it fit pretty good for Epcot, if I remember correctly. I don't remember much out of Epcot except for that and the big ball that I never even went in because my mom and brother went in the ball while me and my dad rode the Test Track coaster. So I never actually went in the ball. But that's all I remember from Epcot. But, I mean, sure, I think it was cool. It's an alright idea, but I don't think it was popular though. Holy crap, it was popular. It was a 4-hour wait. I think it was shown as like a 2-hour wait, but it was a 4-hour freaking wait. Even back then when I was 7 years old, even then I was like, okay, that's totally too long of a wait. So that sucked, but we got kind of antsy just waiting in line because when you get into the station itself was very boring. I remember that. It was just a bunch of bland walls. It's like a garage, but it wasn't decorated with anything. So it was kind of boring. It was big. It wasn't. I don't remember there being a lot of direction. You kind of just picked your own thing. So it got very crowded in there, and all sorts of stuff. It was really, really weird, but. I don't remember it being that great, but I do remember it being a very long wait on our feet. But luckily, it was indoors, so we weren't have to worry about the weather or anything. The wait was indoor. The ride's outdoor, but the weather was not a factor anyways. So, but we boarded the ride vehicle, and I remember I think it was 3 people. It had to been 6. But I remember it was 3 across. 3 people could sit. It was me, Dad, and a random lady that was actually really nice. I don't remember her name. Shout out. Your Test Track, February 2011. with somebody that looks, if you remember my face, you were the person that rode with. So, hello there. If you are still even around, I think you're around. I think you're still around. I don't remember, but that's not the point. I remember she was pretty nice and talks like stuff like that. Now, bear in mind, I think they really worked. They didn't really make the coaster for the coaster. I think they made the coaster to fit the theme. It wasn't much. It's a multi-launch coaster, but not your traditional multi-launch coaster. So let's get into the ride experience here. So we sat down, you buckle in, like you're in a car, and you have the restraints and stuff like that, and then you have a speedometer there that actually read the actual speed that the vehicle is going. I thought that was a nice touch. And bear in mind, I come into this 7 years old. I'm not worried one bit. I confidently stepped right onto that ride. I waited in that line for nothing. The only thing I'm mad about is how long it took, because my legs were tired. I was only 7, okay, guys? So this was, it's my first coaster. I was a little nervous, obviously. Everybody gets even now I get a little bit nervous stepping onto a coaster. Just because of all the anticipation building up, and back then it was a little bit different kind of nervousness, but it was the same thing. Sorry for my chair creaking. It's really weird. This chair doesn't support my weight as well anymore. Either I'm getting fatter, or this chair is getting older, or both. But whatever. That's not the prerogative here of the video. But you get in and you sit there, and then what it does, it took you on a set of launches. If I remember correctly, it was 3 launches. If somebody else rode the iteration of Test Track that I know back around that time, and you know that it was a certain amount of launches, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember it being 3. It was at least 2. There's at least 2 launches. Possibly a third. Well, no, there's 3 launches. There was 2 stops. No, 3 launches. There's 3 launches. 3 launches. Because the first launch was from the station, like the boarding area, and you launch, and then you stop. You go, and then you stop. It's like not even like 5 seconds that you launch for. You get up to maybe 60 miles an hour, and then you come to a dead stop. And that's part of the ride. Because it kind of fits into the theme, because then the ride op, who's dressed like the tester, will then mark something on his or her clipboard, and then it's like a test. Like, okay, you passed the first test. The car can move like 5 feet in like 2 milliseconds or something like that. And then I do remember you did that at least once. At least once. It might have been twice. Maybe just once. Maybe twice. I'm going to say twice. I don't know if you did it. It might have only been once, but it could have been twice. But once you did that at least one more time, and then you go to the big launch. And I think we went up to about 70, 80 miles an hour. I don't know exactly how fast it went. It wasn't like dragster speed. It wasn't even like Steel Vengeance or Millennium Force speed. Probably around the 70s range. Maybe not even the 70s. It was like the high 60s maybe that we got to. But the rest of the course was literally just a bunch of bank turns. Maybe a few possible airtime moments because of the turns, but literally it just weaved around a course. Like, I get you have to fit into like a theme, but my God, that is one of the most boring roller coaster layouts I could possibly think of. Like, seriously. Also, what would we classify this coaster? We can classify it steel because it wasn't wood, or do we classify it as asphalt? Maybe it was a new type of coaster. Who knows? That's a topic for debate right there. But like, my God, like you couldn't have. There was no airtime hills, no inversions, obviously. What road's gonna flip you upside down. Now this might seem a little bit out there, but I think I need to put this out there. I don't remember it being connected to the track. I remember actually just riding along the course like a car. Hence probably why they didn't. That would explain why there was no airtime hills or inversions or anything like that except for bank turns. But isn't that a little bit suspicious? Isn't that a little bit sussy? Like, something could happen. Like, what if one of the tires blows out? Like, they were real tires. What if one of those tires blows out and you crash? Like, there was a wall. I remember there was a barrier. But it could probably even possibly break the barrier, tip the car, and you're falling, it was a good 40, 50 feet in the air, maybe? You know, there was no accident, I don't think. There was no accident when we rode, but just think, like, they probably have maintenance inspections on the tires and stuff, but, like, what if one of them blew out? That's so weird. But the car just, like, meandered through the course, right? It's so boring. And when we hit that last launch and flew, I freaked out. That's where my fear of roller coasters began, was right there. My real fear of roller coasters. Like, everybody comes in with a little bit of fear of roller coasters, but the real fear, the PTSD, like the anxiety over them, that's where it started, right there, because we were going so fast. And, you know, looking back on it, if I rode this again today, if I rode that today at my age, after I've ridden 25 other coasters, more probably by the time you're watching this video, hopefully, nothing that I couldn't handle. But back then, it was a lot to handle. And was it worth the 4-hour wait? I don't know. Back then it was, I guess. But, like, I don't even think so. I don't even think it was really worth the wait for that ride. I mean, we didn't ride it again. Didn't ride any other coasters there. It's like 2 coasters at Disney World in total, so there wasn't really much to do there. But that induced what would be about a 7-year length fear of roller coasters. I rode Blue Streak for the first time. I rode that summer. Remembered, again, went on it like I was the top of the world. I was 8 now at the time. Then, as soon as the ride started, boom, fear induced. It would take me 7 whole years before I would ride another roller coaster at Michigan's Adventure, and the rest is history, ladies and gentlemen. So that's it. That's my story. As far as a review of the roller coaster, I'm probably gonna have to give it like a 4. The launch was the best part, but the launch wasn't even that good. I don't even remember the launch being that good compared to other launches. But the launch was definitely the best part. The beginning was pretty unique as well, I will admit. And the ride itself was very unique. But as far as like it being a coaster and its course, it was so boring and so bland that I just don't think nothing that I think should attract a 4-hour crowd. But you know, it's Disney, so I have to give it a 5 or 6 maybe at that. So that's my review. I need to know in the comment section down below, does this ride still exist? Or is it still there just in a different form? Did it get taken down completely? Who else rode it in previous iterations, that iteration, or the current one, or anything else? I need to know in the comment section down below. I might do a little research into it myself, but I got other videos I need to do, so maybe not. We'll see. But so yeah, so 26 roller coaster reviews. I got more coming, guys. Don't worry, I'm not done riding roller coasters. I'm still young. But stay tuned again for much more amazing content coming soon. Till next time, everybody, I'll see you guys later. Yeah, bye.